last few weeks, we looked at the recorded music industry in the United States. We looked at 2026, 18 plus billion in revenues, the streaming portion 15 billion plus. And last week we looked at the genres, their revenue sizes. And it's not hard to take it a step further and look at how many people within each genre are spending how much. Won't do that today. Going to move from genres now into DSPs. Take a look at how people are spending on DSPs. A music industry executive describes the shift away from hard copy albums and CDs to online consumption of music. It's obviously a huge, massive shift, and he describes it as gatekeepers versus algorithms. Gatekeepers, well, they're the record labels. Algorithms, DSPs, and the modern way of music being consumed. It's a perfect description, don't you think? When music entered the digital world, the idea was that streaming would democratize listening and replace the record labels with the freedom to buy tracks and albums at a more reasonable price. Well, it did that. However, today, with 2 decades plus of streaming now behind us, some fans and musicians alike are finding elements in the new system not quite right, just a little bit imperfect. According to a company called Media Research, 54% of consumers want music chosen by humans, not algorithms. And this, of course, refers to, say, Spotify pushing their top tracks out to when you search. In addition, 38% of music streamers say they struggle to find music they like on today's streaming services. 38% of people that buy and love music can't find what they want. That's a big number. Hey, if they're struggling to find new music that they like, they're also struggling to find and connect with new artists, right? That's the consumer side. Meanwhile, on the artist side, there's not sufficient revenue in streaming to make a living with, unless you hit a home run and go viral and it's downloaded by millions. We talked about that in another show as well. The net result is that while consumption of music is alive and well, there are warts in the new system. Next week, I'll look at one of the big questions I asked a few shows back. Of that $15.4 billion in streaming revenue, what share does each of the major DSPs have in the United States?
I wonder what Paul's featured song is today on SoundThreads. Paul, what have you got for us?
Then There Were None is the featured song this week. I wrote the song based on a true story that took place in Crow's Nest Pass, Alberta, in Canada, way back in 1920. 3 bandits robbed a train, and it resulted in this massive manhunt. All 3 were either imprisoned or killed as a result of the robbery. Hope you enjoy it. Then There Were None.
The 63 left Coleman Station, Crow's Nest Pass, a mile ahead, chugging through the mountain bushes, cabins bathed in the August sweat. A one-eyed man stood up and threatened. All on board, they sank in fear. He was brandishing his weapon. 2 more robbers soon appeared. They filled their bags with money. When done their vile deed, disappeared into the mountains. The bandits ran away and scattered. One went south, 2 stayed in place. Bellevue town became their refuge. The Mounties took the chase. When cops saw 2 men dining at the town cafe, shots were fired, 1 thief lay dying, but the other got away. That vermin ran into the twilight, laying low, but it wasn't long. He was captured and convicted. At the gallows he was hung. With two in the ground the search went on, and then there was one. He headed to the border, making his escape, till he pawned some stolen treasure. He was spotted long and came. It's 100 years and counting. Train 63 was overrun. 2 crooks dead, 1 sent to prison, and then there were none.
There's some deja vu in the air as Freddie meets with Joel Syndergaard. Joel was at the wedding a week before when everyone was having fun, but tonight it's all business. Here they are back at the very same Detroit venue and the same motel where the first tour began, all those months earlier. Both want to do something really special on this tour, or as Syndergaard puts it, make the first one look like JV. They're scheduled to go on at 8 p.m. The sound checks are all done. However, this time the stagehands seem to be fussing a bit more than usual with some of the equipment. Freddie walks back to the motel for some rest and pays it no mind. The female vocalist Jeannie Hooks will join Freddie and Joel for most of the shows. Jeannie's a mid-30s vocalist who, like Syndergaard, is frequently called upon by Delta to support their artists. Her background is as an operatic-trained soprano. However, she prefers the freedom of working freelance in pop and country. Prior to working with Delta, she was with the Buffalo Opera Company. For tonight, Rob has added a percussion guy and a studio guitarist. So the old solo act has grown into Freddie Spaghetti and the Noodles, a band of 5. "Look what you've done," Joel remarked back at the wedding. "All these people making money off of your songs and concerts." Yeah, Freddie thinks, that's pretty damn cool. Tonight, Freddie is the headliner. The stringers are long gone, and the warm-up band plays acoustic country, similar to his. It looks like he's peering back at himself through a looking glass, the only difference being the lack of noise and screaming coming from the adjacent dressing room. The building has the same old hallways, and the same old man knocks on the door. "You're up!" Thanks for listening to Sound Threads. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week we'll have a brand new edition, and I hope you'll join us then too.